having a short interview with Aamir and Abhijit, and we'll be giving a little bit of time for you also to ask a few questions, but there'll be only few, so raise your arm as much as you can and ask anything except for Katrina and Karina. First of all, Aamir, nice to see you with clothes on.
Is it?
Because 2 weeks India has been disoriented right now. We can just visualize you with a transistor.
Well, you know, tomorrow, the next poster is coming out tomorrow. and in the next poster, there is no transistor either.
So many guys also yelling. Good, good. There is hope in India.
My worry is that when I saw this, and you know he's the chief inspirator for the program, I really asked him. Now that you're saying there's no transistor, I'm even more worried. But I'm very happy at the same time.
You know, thanks to him, Marconi, the inventor of transistor, actually now has got recognition finally. You know, Aamir, starting on a lighter note, you have created a benchmark for modern Indian men to get a six-pack. Do you know the kind of pressure you create on commoners? Because now every girlfriend and wife is expecting her husband to get at least 1 pack in his lifespan. And it's not easy for us to sustain. Do you know the kind of stress you create for us?
Why are you blaming me? Salman, I think, is responsible for this. He was much before me in these packs.
Yeah, that's also true. But you also take some credit for it.
Well, I mean, you know, I find working out really difficult. It's very, very painful and not something I enjoy, but you know, I do it for my roles, for my films. Yeah.
You know, my first question to you about this is that so many youngsters here, and these are like opinion leaders in their independent spheres from where they come from. What is the first thing you'd like to say to young India who's creating a new India?
Well, you know, I often feel that I'm not really someone who can tell you guys what to do. I think that you all know your own minds well enough, and I don't think that they really need to be told what to do. What I can share for sure is what has been important to me. And I think each one of us, you know, finds our own path. So what has been important to me, which I would like to share with you, is that I've always believed in following my dreams. And I don't know how that happened. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but I think it also happened because I'm very passionate about whatever I do, whether it's my work, which is films, whether it's playing a sport, whether it's, you know, hanging out with my friends, whether it's having an argument, whether it's, you know, laughing about something. I'm very, very passionate about everything. And I give my entire attention and full, everything about me is in that one thing that I'm doing at that time. So, I think that what has been very important for me is that I don't want to compromise with what I want to do. What is my dream? I don't mind compromising to achieve my dream. But I don't want to compromise the dream itself. So that is something that I've always believed in. I believe that, you know, all through my career I've been told that he's not going to last for more than a year. Because of the kind of, you know, I picked very unusual films, I worked in a very unusual way, while the rest of the industry at that time, when I came in 25 years ago, was doing 30 films at one time. Actors were doing 30 films at one time. I started doing, you know, like 3 films, and then I came down to 1 film. And everyone thought, okay, yeah, this guy is nuts, you know. And everyone who I knew and who even cared for me always told me that, you know, I think you're making a mistake. And this is a fascinating thing. Right through my life, every important decision of mine, all the people who are important to me and who are close to me have always told me, you're making a mistake. Don't do this. I've always been told.
So that's a good benchmark.
No. I appreciate the fact that people who are close to me are concerned about me. I appreciate the fact that they care for me and they're worried for me. But what I've always been happy about myself is that I've always done what I believed in. So I'll give you 2-3 examples. When I was in the 12th, that's when I decided that I want to learn about filmmaking in cinema. So I told my family, my friends, everyone around me that, you know, I want to start working as an assistant director and start learning about filmmaking. Everybody I knew at that time. My parents, of course, freaked out. You're not going to be a graduate, you're going to leave your studies. It was halla ho gaya tha ghar mein. And my uncles and aunts, they were all like, you know, you can't do this. My cousins, people my age who I thought would understand me, my friends said, yaar, jo bhi hai, graduation to kar le. Do what you want. You want to be an actor, you want to be a filmmaker, do what you want, but at least be a graduate. It didn't make sense to me. I was like, why? If I want to be a doctor, do I study commerce? No, I study medicine. If I want to be an engineer, I study engineering. If I want to be a filmmaker, I want to study filmmaking. Why on earth should I waste time studying something else when I'm very clear that this is my goal? So, no, because you need a paper which says you're a graduate. That's what was told to me. I said, no, I don't need a paper. I don't need someone to tell me what I know. I know what I know. And if I need to know something, I'll learn about it. So I was very clear that this is what I want to do. So I didn't listen to anyone. I didn't listen to my friends, I didn't listen to my family, I just did what I wanted to do. Because I feel that if I'm clear about what I want to do, and I'm honest about it, and I'm sincere about it, and the reasons why I'm doing it is clear to me, then I must follow my instinct. Because I'd rather, even if I had to go wrong tomorrow, I'd rather go wrong on my instincts. I don't want to go wrong on somebody else's advice. If I've taken a wrong step, I'll deal with it, I'll learn, it'll be a learning experience for me. So, right through my life, I've noticed that there's been times when people who are close to me and who care about me have told me, you're doing the wrong thing. And I've always felt that, I've listened to them very carefully. I've never ignored them. But I finally did what I felt like doing. And that's one thing that when I look back today, after 25 years of being a professional, I feel that that's one thing that I feel happy about. That I lived on my terms. See, today I'm successful. I may not have been successful. I didn't know I was going to be successful. But I'm happy that I lived on my terms. And I'm happy that I never compromised. Whenever I was offered something I was not happy with, I didn't do it.
But exactly as an extension to this question,
to you is that from a person who did the best, excellence was what you had chased, there was a pivotal moment, eureka moment. See, Archimedes also didn't wear clothes. What was your eureka moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, I have always worked the same way. So, I'm aware that when you look at me from afar, you might feel that, oh, up till here he was doing this and then suddenly he changed. That maybe Lagan is that changing point or the turning point, if you want to identify one. But for me, it wasn't even that. I have always done what I believed in. So even the films that have not worked or have not turned out that well, I believed in them. And they are mistakes which I own. And I hold them very close to me because I feel that, in fact, I have learned the maximum from my failures. My failures have taught me the most. And so I really value my failures. Whatever I am today is not only because of my successes, but also because of my failures. Whatever I've learned, through my failures. And so I have always done what I believed in, and I continue to do that. I think the one big changing point for me, or the turning point for me, was when I did Satyam for television. And that's not part of film. That's not part of fiction or entertainment. It's part of life. And that was a big turning point for me. I think that was one specific step I took away from what I was otherwise doing. And that kind of came about, again, that didn't come about overnight. It came about over years and years of thinking, struggling internally. You read the papers, you read about injustice, you read about people who are less privileged than you, and you feel disturbed, you feel horrible sometimes, you feel angry, you feel frustrated, you feel helpless. A lot of emotions we go through when we come to know what's happening around us. And I used to feel that, why can't I do something about it? I need to do something about it. So I would, I would do donations, I would give out money, but that was not it wasn't enough for me, I felt. And there's another thing. One person has had a big influence on my life. My very close friend Satyajit Bhatkal, who happens to be the director of Satyam Vijayate. He and I were in school together, Satya and I. And Satya was the guy who always stood first in class. The topper, front bencher. I was the back bencher who kind of was, floating around. But we became friends. Satya and I became friends.
Because you wanted his notes. So.
No. Because what happened is, what he could never get over was that we played a game of chess once. And he lost to me. So since then he was like, first class to main aata hu class mein, chess mein kaise hara sakta hai. So we became friends because of that, and then we kind of stuck together. But what I'm trying to say is that Satya was a person who had the world in front of him. He was a topper. He could do anything. Anything means anything. Really sharp guy. And when he came out of school, you know, he went into social service. He went into coming out with newspapers that no one would read, and you know, he was doing all kinds of things. And I used to feel कि यार क्या ये अपनी life बर्बाद कर रहा है? इतना bright future इस लड़के का, और ये अपनी life बर्बाद कर रहा है. But he was very passionate about what he was doing. He was very angry about the injustice happening to people who are not as privileged, and he would fight for them, and he would do all kinds of things. He would go and stand outside railway stations and give out flyers to people to read. कि देखो ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. No one used to listen to him. But he used to keep doing that. He used to keep doing that. And I used to look at him, and whenever I met him, I used to feel guilty. Whenever I met him, I used to feel guilty. Because we are the same age, we began from school together. My career is going up with each film. I'm getting a bigger success, I'm getting more popular. And each time I meet him, he tells me, "Ke, yaar, you know, there was this thing we went for, and these political guys came and they beat us up and all that. But doesn't matter, you know. अब वो पिट भी रहा है, वो डंडे भी खा रहा है, वो बेचारा पैसे भी नहीं कमा रहा है." So I used to feel कि यार ये बंदा बड़ा कमाल का है और मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं फजूल हूँ यार.
You played
I'm
chess,
wasting my
I
life.
remember.
No, I felt I'm not doing enough here. Then I used to look at him, I used to feel guilty. Okay, what am I doing? So this kind of grew in me, this feeling of wanting to do something grew in me. And then it came out through Satyameva Jayate. Because finally, I think at that time when I came into the film industry, there was no television also. There was Doordarshan, and you know, now television is so strong. There are so many channels. Star Network has got such a big reach. So it kind of came together somehow. The timing was right. I was mature enough as a person. I had seen life to a certain degree. I was ready for it. Importantly, Satya, his wife Swati and Lancy, the three of them, had been working in the social sector for 25 years. They'd been journalists, they'd been working in the social sector. Satya became a lawyer eventually. The work that they had been doing for 25 years, without that work, you cannot do Satyameva Jayate, if you know what I'm trying to say. So, it kind of came, होता ना वो eclipse के time पे वो sun, moon और earth वो एक line में आते हैं.
Timing.
So timing था. So it happened, you know, it happened. But it was something that was growing in me for many years. It was growing in me for many years and finally culminated in Satyameva Jayate. And, you know, I have to say that that's one of the things that has given me the most satisfaction. I've done films which have been extremely popular. I've done films which have been huge successes. But strangely, today, wherever I go, and I have big successes as recently as Rome 3, people are only interested in Satyameva Jayate. Wherever I go, they're only interested in Satyameva Jayate. I'm seeing remote places. I land up in Jhunjhunu, which is a small place in Rajasthan, and the media that meets me there is only asking me about Satyameva Jayate.
This is giving me hope. I'm giving a hope